Oh, so fabulous.
Hi guys, welcome back to the channel once again. It's your girl Dumebi. If this is your first time coming across my channel, you're welcome. I do hope you decide to subscribe and join the big happy family. And if you are a returning subscriber, you guys know that I love you. Welcome back. So first of all, happy new year. This is our first video for the year. Yes, I took a little time off. I hope you guys don't mind. And I hope you guys enjoyed your celebration with your friends and family. I personally am alone this period, but my friends came to visit, and of course I've been in contact with my family, and I've just been so grateful for life. And I appreciate every single one of you for your support throughout last year. You guys took me to hikes that I never thought I would attain, and generally 2023 was awesome for me. I had so many accomplishments in my personal life and also here on YouTube as well. You guys have been doing YouTube for a while. This 2023 was the year that I recorded the most growth, compared to all my previous years combined. Okay, and even in my personal life, there have been some awesome things that I'll be sharing with you guys when the time is right. Okay, so yeah, sorry for that long introduction. So today I have an interesting video, and it was made by an African woman. Let's just go right ahead and play the video.
So I just saw in a TikTok post, an African American was telling an African that she can make slavery jokes because, she's not African American, she's African. So they didn't go through the whole cotton picking thing. And I'm like, what did African Americans think Africans were doing during the time of slavery? Do you think we were like sipping margaritas on the coast of Mozambique with them white boys?
Okay, so you guys get the gist, right? If Africans are allowed to make slavery jokes, and apparently an African American woman got offended by an African making slavery jokes, and the way she ended the video was quite, I don't know, what's the whole
sipping margaritas on the coast of Mozambique.
But I understand the point she's trying to make, right? Like, we ourselves didn't have it easy over here. Even if our ancestors weren't taken during the transatlantic slavery, we still had our own share of colonialism and all the brutality that was done to some of our people here. I think that's the point she's trying to make. But anyway, before I talk too much, let's just go right ahead and hear what people had to say to her video.
The post, an African American was telling an African that she can make slavery jokes.
She continues to say the reason is because the African American thinks the black person in Africa didn't go through slavery, which, Jesus Christ, talk about thinking you have a monopoly on being enslaved. Take us for example. I'm from SA. We're not really well known for being enslaved. We're more known for apartheid. But even in this country, from around 1658 all the way up until 1834, we were enslaved too. And honestly, don't even get me started on the tens of millions of Southern Africans who were murdered by men like Cecil Rhodes while he walked around stealing all of our land and resources. This isn't just an America thing. The funny thing about this is I don't even think Americans realize that they themselves became slave owners in the African continent. They just think that they're victims of it. But nah, you were perpetrators too. After Abraham Lincoln emancipated the slaves, there was a movement to move some slaves from America all the way back to Liberia. But guess what happens when you guys got there? You immediately ostracized yourselves and created a class system, putting yourselves at the top and native Liberians at the bottom. And then in a cruel twist, you ended up becoming slave owners yourselves. The Liberian people didn't even get citizenship in their own country up until 1904.
Wow, you see this history. I think I was watching a YouTube video about the history of Liberia recently. I have not really done a deep dive into it, but I just scratched the surface, and I realized that when some of the slaves from America were given their freedom and they started coming back to Africa, they got to Africa, to Liberia, and created a system, just like he said. They kind of tried to recreate that. I think they call it antebellum era. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it well, from America, like the architecture, the way they dress and everything. They created a kind of identity for themselves that was different from the other Liberians that were already there before they got there. So they didn't assimilate. They created, just like you said, a classist system. And I think it's part of the dark history of Liberia. I don't actually know much about the history, but that was what I found out through the YouTube video that I watched. And the truth is, every African, every black person, we are extending it to the whole diaspora right now, has had some form of oppression or slavery or colonialism in their history. I don't think any ethnic group of black people either the Afro-Latinos or either the Caribbeans or African Americans or the Africans. I don't think any group of black people was exempt from this very dark history of slavery and colonialism. So I don't see how any group of black people should claim monopoly over slavery, just like what he said. And I think I agree. Let's play another one.
She can make slavery jokes.
Okay, so your second video minus the 10-second would have been a perfect reply to the person that you were trying to defend in the first video, because that could have given them more information that they need. Instead of focusing on African American, you focus on African as a first generation immigrant or continental. That's our priority. Tell that person to read Things Fall Apart by Chinua Achebe. Maybe they'll understand what happened in Nigeria. That person can also read Destruction of Black Civilization by Chancellor Williams. Maybe they'll also understand how slavery happened in different nations of Africa if they're looking for jokes. The entire North is still enslaved by the Arabs. If they're looking for jokes, we have to focus on our backyard. It needs to be clean.
I think I agree with what you said. Basically, you don't have to all the way from Africa go and joke about African American slavery, because right in our own backyard, we also had our own form of slavery and oppression and colonialism. These people coming into our land and oppressing us and stealing our resources and all of that. We have enough of that you don't have to go into another black ethnic group's business to make jokes. But like, for real, like, my question is, why do we even want to make slavery jokes? Why do we want to make jokes about oppression? I understand we are black people. That's one of the ways we cope with trauma. We make fun of ourselves. You know, we make jokes out of our unfortunate situations. Yes, but now it's like this video is like she's fighting for the right to make a slavery joke. I don't make slavery jokes. I don't know a lot of people who make slavery jokes. I've actually never come across anybody that makes slavery jokes like that. I know our comedians here in Nigeria do not make slavery jokes, do not make jokes about even colonialism, or we don't do that. It's not something that I see people do. So I'm just wondering why or how this conversation even came up in the first place. But let's continue. And those books that she recommended, I definitely have to read those books.
A TikTok post, an African American was telling an African that she can make slavery jokes.
So I really wanted to address this video. They're like, African Americans try and gatekeep everything they know nothing about. Okay, first of all, I don't think you guys understand what we were taught in school. And it's not like African Americans are just going out of our way. It's literally that we were taught in school that you guys didn't go through that. Now, here's my thing about you guys making slavery jokes about African Americans. The North Americans' chattel slavery was very different than African slavery in Africa. And they taught us that you guys left us. Now, I figured out that, and you guys were selling us. But now, I know that didn't happen. I have a previous video about how that did not happen. But you guys have to understand that literally we have been taught this, and y'all are blaming us when this is literally a white supremacist problem. And I don't think anyone sees the bigger picture in it.
What did African Americans think Africans were doing during the time of slavery? Do you think we were like sipping margarita?
My sister, I greet you. So you had a video of you being educational and informing people about the slavery that went on in Africa, right? But I just have one question to ask you, just one question. Do you know that you're essentially defending the right for you to make slavery jokes? Well, not just you, but the girl that you were defending. Does that not sound a little bit embarrassing to you, eh? See, I couldn't stitch it, but I do applaud you for being very educational in your post. But besides that fact of being educational, I feel like you missed the point. If you would just be informative and educating people about the slavery that went on in Africa, then that would have been good. It would have been great. But you're using that in defense of your imaginary right, or whoever's imaginary right, to make slavery jokes. Cotton picker jokes. My sister, from one African to another, slavery jokes, regardless of what race you are, is wrong. My sister, reevaluate your points, my sister. And drink water. Make sure you drink water. It's very important.
Drink water and relax. It's not that deep. Like, for real, I understand what he's saying. That was definitely an opportunity for her to like tell them that, okay, during the time of slavery, we were not having it easy in Africa. They were conquering our land. They were taking charge of our natural resources and stuff like that. Like, look at what was happening in Congo. the king of Belgium or whoever was chopping up people's hands and forcing them into slavery. Like, there was just a lot that was happening to us over here, which is why, just like the sister before this guy said, where, you know, I've seen African Americans complain about why did Africans not come after them when white people took them to America to help them, to save them. The truth is, there's this narrative that we Africans sold African Americans. As much as there was some selling happening, there was also manipulation, there was also kidnapping, there was also stealing of our people. So if some people would have wanted to come, but you guys think it was that easy for us? We had our own things we were dealing with here as well. They were busy making Nigeria into a country. Nigeria had no business being a country in the first place because we're so different. And that's one of the root causes of the crisis we have in Nigeria till today. My tribe is the most marginalized tribe, the Igbo tribe. There was a whole war that happened, the Biafran War. It's just there's a lot, guys. So no ethnic group of black people has monopoly over this suffering that was caused by these palm color people, these invaders. So yeah, that doesn't excuse making slavery jokes. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that it would have been nice truly to use that opportunity to educate African Americans and be like, okay, you guys had the transatlantic slavery, but over here, this is what we too were dealing with, right? That's just how we bridge the gap, by letting each other know this is what we passed through, this is what we passed through. We can empathize with each other, and then we can find a middle ground and heal together and bridge the gap. That is how we do it. We have to be productive with these conversations.
And I'm like, what did African Americans think Africans were doing during the time of slavery?
I don't understand why people want to gatekeep bad things that have happened throughout history as if that bad thing has only happened to them. It's like the oppression Olympics, and people act as if that bad thing has had an effect on them nowadays. And like with regards to slavery has happened to most every group of people on every continent. So just do better.
Well, all that being said and done, I actually picked this topic to talk about it because I've seen some conversations similar to this. There was a video I came across. I don't know if I find the video, I'll put it here.
I'm sorry, what? I don't like when Africans say the N-word. With just any type of way? We're different.
And now, I'm not fighting for the right for Africans to say the N-word. I don't even use that word, you know. But do you guys realize that Africans were the first people that were called the N-word? As a matter of fact, Nigeria was given its name from the N-word area. They now told us that it was Niger area. So they removed one of the G's. Niger. They removed the second G that would have made it the N-word. So Niger area, N-word area. We were the first people called the N-word because, as a lot of you guys already know, a lot of ancestry of our people that were taken to the Americas were from the area that we know now to be Nigeria. It was not Nigeria then, but a lot of them came from there. So that was the name they gave Nigeria. This is the area where they come to get the N-word people, the ninjas. Yeah, you guys get what I'm saying. So we were already called the N-word. You know, I feel like this diaspora wars will keep happening if we don't take out time to learn each other's history. If African Americans don't learn African history, if they don't learn Caribbean people's history, if they don't learn the other people's history, if we too don't learn the history of all the other groups of black people, we will keep having these conversations because we don't even understand each other. We don't understand what we went through. We don't understand how we became the way we are because we don't know each other's history, right? So I encourage every black person in the diaspora watching this video to try to educate themselves on each other's history so that way we can understand each other and empathize more, and so that we can create that unity. Because conversations like this, it might be light-hearted, but it's just an indication of a deeper issue, which is that we don't even know each other that well. And I mean, we have the internet. I don't have to travel all the way to America to know that African Americans are not what the media has portrayed. I see it now from TikTok. I see from the comments on my YouTube channel that these people are not as bad as they try to make us believe, right? As a matter of fact, they're actually really good people with good values. You know, I just, we have a right now, we have the opportunity now to actually reach out to each other, and we have to make the best of it. We have the internet. Come on. Anyway, you guys, let me know what you think. in the comment section. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.